It's Pete Cohen. It's Psychologies magazine. It's Psychologies magazine's Facebook page. And look, there I am. It's me. It's Pete Cohen. It's Psychologies. That doesn't make any sense. It does make sense, doesn't it? I'm so excited to be here. I'm a massive fan of the magazine. I'm talking today about how to have optimal health. Let us know, first off, where you are in the world. I'm going to share this post myself. Let us know where you are. I know sometimes it takes a bit of time for people to find posts, but hopefully you can find this post. And oh, look at that, 27 people just immediately just appeared. 65 people, that's incredible. So I'm not even going to bother trying to share this because I want to give you guys my full attention. I am Pete Cohen. My background is in psychology. I'm the author of 19 books, many of them best-selling books. I specialize in helping people go from where they are to where they want to be. I've dedicated my life to helping people do what they need to do to create the life that they want. Ultimately, one of the things I believe, and I'd be curious as to what you believe, that a great life doesn't happen by chance, right? It happens by design. Designing that life often needs help, and that's why Psychologies magazine is the great magazine that it is. And a massive shout out to all of the team, Susie, who are, let me just show you something. Actually, look, Susie, the editor of the magazine, actually sent this to me many years ago. And I'm very proud of that. And I have it with me wherever I go, because I want to help people win an Oscar for their life. Because if you think about it, your life is a movie. Right now, our movies have come together. You're like kind of watching a movie. You are the writer, you are the director, you are the producer, you're the actor. You can choose your supporting cast. And let me ask you, what type of a movie are you in right now? I think COVID has definitely made a lot of people start thinking about life differently, and it's been very difficult. It's been a horror film for many people. It's been a real challenge. And I think if we look at all of our lives, we could see that our lives have been different types of movies at different times. Love story. But what type of story do you want to create? That is what I am interested in. I am interested in you. And in the next 15 or 20 minutes that we spend together, I would really love to share with you some practical tools, tips, and wisdom to help you close that gap between where you are and where you would like to be. But first off, let us know where you are in the world. Let us know what part of the world are you in. I would love to know. I've got my father-in-law working on we've got 2 cameras here as well. You see, look, we can change cameras. Isn't this cool? Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, because we do want to have a little bit of fun with you. But obviously, this is a very important subject. Your life matters, and your life is governed by one thing: your health. What is your health? Your health is your energy. And yes, I do have a magic wand in my hand because we are going to do some magic. So is everyone ready? Everyone up for a little bit of entertainment? Because I think if it's entertaining, you might remember something from what we shared. And it's been a long time since I've done a live for Psychologies magazine, but I'm very excited that I'm going to be back every single week now. And I'm here to inspire. I'm here to help you breathe life into who you are and where you're going. So I'm going to start off by asking you a question. Would that be okay? Can I get a yes if it's okay for me to ask you a question? I'm going to pretend that I can hear all of you going, yes, 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 wherever you are in the world. Here it is. Here's the question. What's the most valuable thing that you own? Okay, I'm listening. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes, the most valuable thing that you own. I'm hearing a few answers coming through. I'm hearing a few of you are saying health. What else? Some people say their house, but in many cases, most people don't own their house. They might feel that they do, but the bank in most cases owns the majority of people's houses. Some people say their children. You don't own your children. They're on a lease. Now, the most popular answer, and believe you me, for the last 30 years, I know I'm 50 years old. I know I don't look it, but this is a question I've been asking all over the world. What's the most valuable thing that you own? And the most popular answer is health. But then if you look to how someone was living their life based on what they just said, you'd say, hang on a second. If it is the most valuable thing that you actually own, is how you're living your life a reflection of how valuable it actually is? Now, of course, the answer in most cases is no. And don't worry, you're not alone, because taking care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It's not easy. Why is it not easy? Well, we could talk about this for hours. And believe you me, having written 19 books and spending my life talking and working to people, I am so passionate about human beings and what human beings are capable of and helping people look at things differently. Because we know that people don't change when we tell them what to do. People change when their perspective changes. And what the COVID-19 has done for a lot of people, and also with Black Lives Matters, for a lot of people, it's made them realize, I never knew that. I never thought of it like that. So we know that people don't change when we tell them, they change when their perspective changes. So let me ask you this next question. How many of you would like to make your health more of a priority? How many of you would like better health? If all I had to do was, you just told me and I'd wave my magic wand and you could have what you wanted, tell me what you want. Come on, tell me what you want. Like the Spice Girls, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. What do you want with your health, your energy, your vitality? Feel free to make a comment. We can bring it up on the screen so we can see, what does everybody want? Because what you want is something you are actually, in most cases, capable of creating. This is the gift of life, right? The ability to create. But the difference between you and me and that pigeon outside or that tree is that the pigeon in the tree, they rely more on nature and they rely more on instinct. And what you and I have been given is the dignity of choice. The dignity of choice. Right now, you could choose to stop watching this right now and think, I don't want to listen to that guy anymore. He's got a magic wand in his hand and he's got a very big nose. You could be saying that. You could be thinking about, I need to go and look at something else. We have the choice. And right now, in the palm of your hands, you have the choice of doing something truly amazing, taking better care of your health. So guys, let's get stuck in. Let's have a look on here. We're going to have a look at how to have optimal health, right? But what we first want to look at is, what is optimal health, right? And then I want to just take you on a little ride, a little journey, so that by the time we come to the end of what we're going to speak about today, you've got a much better idea of what optimal health is. So let me ask you the question. What do you think optimal health is? What do you think health is? In fact, today I was writing it down. I'm just not sure where I put my book, but that's okay. As what actually optimal is. Do you know what optimal is? Do you know what that word means? It comes from Optimus, which means the best. So optimal health is the best health. And I don't know how many of you are watching this in America, but I've been recently reading a book called The Healthy Deviant. And it talks about 97.3% of Americans, 97.3% of Americans are unhealthy by 4 basic measures. They either smoke, they don't do 150 minutes of vigorous to moderate activity every week, they don't eat a particularly balanced diet, they've got a body fat is over 20 if they are a man, if they're a woman, it's over 30. 97.3% of Americans, 50% of Americans have got a chronic health condition. I was at Southampton. I do work with Southampton Hospital here in the United Kingdom. And the chief medical officer was telling me that he reckoned about 80% of people in the hospital are there because of lifestyle choices that they made. And if they made different lifestyle choices, they probably wouldn't end up in the hospital, dying of some disease that they wouldn't necessarily choose to. And like I say, over the next few weeks and months, I would love to give you a different perspective of your health and what you can do to really have great energy, great vitality, and live a long life so that when you finally do leave this earth, maybe you just die of old age, like many people did a long time ago. You see, so much is possible. And what health is really, I believe optimal health is when you feel alive, when you feel vibrant. Now, the irony of this is that most of us know how to get that. We know what's involved, right? All of you that anything to do with Psychologies magazine, you understand what good health and is about, right? Good mentality is about. Saying it is easy, doing it is not. Why? Because we have a constant battle with ourselves, right? Right now, we're always battling with ourselves. Should I get out of bed? Should I stay here? Should I exercise? No, stay here. Should I go in the kitchen and cook? No, call a Domino's pizza. We are constantly battling with ourselves. But if we can find peace in ourselves and peace in what we're doing, then we have a much better chance to create the health that we want. So let me ask you, do you want better health? My next question would be, if you want better health, why? Why? You see, I don't know whether you've ever been to a bookmaker's or ever bet on, has anyone here ever bet on anything? Have you ever bet on a horse or put money in a fruit machine or gambled on a roulette table? If we were looking at the odds of you, okay, the odds of you becoming fitter, if you want to lose weight, slimmer, have more energy, what are the odds? Now you say, well, I don't know. Well, let's look at the odds being based on your form being your history. How many times in the past have you tried something and done it for a bit? You started a heroic energy. I'm a hero, let's go, enthusiasm. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you went back to what you were doing before. Have you ever done that before? I mean, we know, how many of you have ever dieted before? You diet. Did you know there's actually a word, ancient Indian Sanskrit word, that means hero in the beginning? So over 2,500 years ago, people would start things with enthusiasm. Yeah, I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to join a gym. Not that they had gyms back there, but whatever they did, right? They do it with heroic intention, heroic effort. I am a winner. And they woke up the next day and guess what? It just didn't feel like it. They didn't feel like it, and guess what? They didn't do it. And the difference between back then and now is that we have thousands, millions of reasons of why we don't feel like doing something, because there's something else to do that gives us something better in this moment than actually doing that. And that is why it is one of the biggest challenges to take care of your health. Why? Because we are not designed to live in this modern world. Human beings have learned to adapt to environments, right? We learn to adapt to living by the sea. We learn to adapt living in mountains. Human beings have got this incredible ability to adapt. But now we've adapted into a world that is so crazy and so unnatural and so unhealthy that guess what? It's killing us. But then we can keep ourselves going, which many people do by taking pharmaceutical drugs or finding other ways just to exist, but not to live. To live is to have optimal health. And this is with the work I do in companies. It's like, let's get people in companies to be in the business of having better health first, rather than leaving our health to fall by the wayside. It is the most valuable thing you own. If you want to put the odds back in your favor, especially if you wanted to lose weight, then you've got to focus on health. You've got to focus on something more than just pain. Because would it be okay if I could be brutally honest with you? Would that be okay? If I get enough yeses coming up in the comments, if enough of you say yes, I am asking for some interaction here, guys, please. And if you take any value from this, please share it. Please comment, share this, help Psychologies magazine achieve their goal, which is to inspire people all over the world to work on their own psychology, to change their mind, to build a strong mind. So I was going to ask you, would it be okay for me to ask you a question? Are you ready? Let me just take a quick sip of my coffee. Healthy coffee, by the way. But anyway, that's another story. Let me ask you this. When do you think we get to see the best in human beings? When do you think we get to see the best of what human beings are truly capable of? Take a moment to think about that. And while you're thinking about it, let me tell you a very quick story. I used to live in London in a place called Ladbroke Grove in West London, right where the Notting Hill Carnival is, second biggest carnival in the world. I used to love living there. So colorful, so vibrant, so diverse. And not long ago, there was a fire in a big block of flats, Grenville Towers. And I woke up because I could smell it. I could smell something in the air. And I went outside and I saw this building on fire. And you know what? I knew people that lived there and they didn't even talk to each other. They didn't even talk to each other. But after that happened, people were doing things they wouldn't normally do. They were helping each other. They were giving things they didn't have. So let me ask you, when do we get to see the best in people? We get to see the best in people when there's a disaster, a prognosis, a diagnosis. All of a sudden, people behave. And I've actually worked for years with people who have had heart disease and cancers and diabetes. They've been diagnosed. And then it's interesting how some of them use that as rocket fuel to make positive changes. Others don't, and they just carry on doing what they were doing before. But the ones who move forwards, what's driving them forwards is fear, is pain. But once they get comfortable, guess what they do? They go back to what they were doing before. And I reckon from all of my years of working with people, that it's only 2%. It's only 2% of people that are really driven by just being driven by improvement. They want to improve. They're excited about what is in front of them. They know that the only thing that exists in the universe is possibility. And what's driving them isn't pain. It might be some pain, the pain of loss, the pain of not achieving something, the pain of not creating. Now, I can't put you in the 2% club, but I ask you to think about what would it be like to wake up every day and to be inspired about taking better care of yourself, to see really what is possible. I know it is a shift for many people in thinking, and maybe over the next few weeks and months, maybe I can help you with that. And let me know if that's something you're interested in, because if that's what you're interested in, I will provide a lot of content on that specific area. So we need to look at, maybe I'll look at this another time, but I want to dive deep into this, because what drives human beings, what actually drives us is the compulsion to get our needs met. And if we're not getting our needs met, we will just revert to what we already know. And what are our needs? Well, I believe we all need to grow and we all need to contribute. I truly believe that's a need that we all have, and we all want it. But what stops us from doing that is our other needs of wanting certainty, wanting a bit of uncertainty, wanting significance, I'm important, wanting connection and love, getting those needs met in a way that is either negative or neutral, but not positive. We know that the most positive way to get our needs met is to take better care of ourselves mentally, physically, and emotionally. But we know there's work involved in that. We know there's effort. It takes time and effort to get yourself to sit down and meditate. You don't feel like it, so you won't do it. You don't feel like exercising. You don't feel like cooking a healthy meal. Maybe you do, but maybe just not all of the time. But we can change this, and we can become heroes. We can become heroes, not just for a few moments where we have heroic effort for a few days, but we can keep on going. And I explained some of the statistics here about what's going on, that if we don't change our direction, this is where we're going to end up. We're going to end up going where everyone else is going, which is to either an early grave or going to a grave with a life unfulfilled, and going to a grave with some condition that we didn't need to have. What people don't understand is very, very, very few conditions people are born with. The majority of things which take people out of the game are lifestyle choices. But we can change. Do you want to change? Do you want some help? Do you want to be healthier? Because the easiest thing to do, obviously, is stay where you are. What's the secret weapon? What do you think the secret weapon is? While you think about the secret weapon and we start to wrap this up, do you know what this word means, win? Because a lot of people think that winning is a destination. Like, I've won my health. Anyway, it's like work-life balance. You never like, I've done it, I've work-life balance. It's always something that you're balancing. And it requires constant, daily effort, constant refreshing, constant renewing, because that's what health means. The word health means to regenerate. And to regenerate every day, you have to renew. You really do. You know, if you don't, just see what happens. Slowly but surely, you'll be going downhill. And often we don't even realize that we're going downhill. Have you ever heard of Superman? You heard of Superman or Superwoman? Superwoman, because there's probably more women watching here than men, so let's talk about Superwoman. Superwoman's arch rival is Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor goes round to Superwoman's house and sprinkles kryptonite dust all around the house. Superwoman comes home, she doesn't notice it, But after a few days, she starts getting a bit tired and a bit lethargic, and she's got a bit of pain in her joints, but she doesn't realize it. She just thinks that must be just normal, must be a part of getting old, even though I'm a superhero. And eventually she starts dying a very slow death. Now, her kryptonite is kryptonite. What's your kryptonite? Because we've all got weaknesses that are taking us out of the game. We just don't realize it. And they could be kryptonites that are mental, physical, emotional, the way that we think, stress, our daily habits. So to take on this epic adventure and to win, because the word win means to strive and to struggle, right? To strive and to struggle, that's winning. You're winning every time you're striving and you're struggling, because there is no growth. There is no growth without suffering. There is no growth without suffering. My tree out the front of the garden here, you should have seen the battering that took before COVID came along, with the winds blowing that tree. I thought that tree is going to go. But no, it's got very strong foundations, and now we're eating the apples from the tree. We need to build strong foundations if we want to be around. What's your secret weapon? Your secret weapon is to be inspired about what is possible. And lastly, when we look at good health and what good health actually is, for me, it's all about the Magnificent Seven. The Magnificent Seven of eat right, drink right, think right, talk right, poop right, move right. Eat. There's seven. The Magnificent Seven. We can go into this in more detail. I've done a few podcasts on this. My podcast has regularly appeared in the top 10 of podcasts in the UK on mental health. My podcast is just MI365. MI365. Pete Cohen, if you like podcasts. The Magnificent Seven is about eating right, drinking right, thinking right, talking. Feel free to ask the questions. I think I'll be back here next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Again, talking about health and your well-being and your energy. If any of you are interested in your weight and losing weight, because that is such a big subject, our government here in the United Kingdom is starting a war on obesity. I've put together a whole free resource for people, which is here. Just go to weightlossguru.com. Absolutely free. We have 4 courses, and one of those courses is all about the Magnificent Seven. My approach to weight loss has always been about health. Help people get healthy. The body takes care of itself. Mental health, physical health. So I want to thank you for being here today. It's been my absolute pleasure to serve you. Like I said, I'm a massive fan of Psychologies magazine, and you guys are awesome for being here. What's your biggest takeaway? Tell me what your biggest takeaway is. Please understand that, in fact, Jerry, can you just bring me down a couple of my books from up there? Thank you. I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm 50. In fact, this is my 31st year. And I want to know what your biggest takeaway is. If any of you are on Instagram, feel free to come and follow. That's fine. Feel free to come and follow me on Instagram. I'm not showing you this to impress you, but just to impress upon you that I'm not mucking about with this. I've been searching for solutions for a long time. This is a best-selling book called Sort Your Life Out. This is another book called Life DIY. I'm not asking you to go out and buy these books. This was an international best-selling book. This was actually my company was bought by Bupa, the medical insurance company. This is the last book I wrote called Inspirators, which is all about being inspired. Like I say, you don't need to go and read those books. What you need to do is look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you're awesome. I would really encourage you to, if you're interested in health and weight, go to weightlossguru.com. It's absolutely free. You just have to invest a bit of time. I'm actually giving a talk this evening on willpower. And if you go there, you can find out about that. Secret weapon is inspiration. Yeah, inspiration is when you're breathing life into what is in front of you. And I want to thank you for being here, because you know what? Everybody needs help. We are so foolish to think, and I can tell that the majority of people here are women, because as a generalization, men don't really admit that they've got issues and problems. I know that's changing and it's becoming more acceptable to admit, but you know what? You're all here. What we're going to do about it, Jerry, feel free to bring up some of those comments on the screen. My takeaway is illness isn't predetermined. There is a way through the mire. There most definitely is. You know, my wife is a miracle. She's alive and well today because we looked outside the box. You know, asking myself why I want to improve my health and thinking about what is motivating me. You see, Mary, what's so important about that is you have to connect to that every day. Health is renewal. Every day you have to renew. You know, you do renew. That's what your body is doing for you, right? What else do we have here that people are saying? Interesting. Thank you, Sheridan. Nice to hear from you. When they are at their best self? Oh, thank you so much. So actually, just we finished, let us know where you are in the world. What part of the world are you in? I'd love to know. I'll go and look at that later because I love this world. And I think human beings have the capacity to save it. But boy, do we have to do some work. But it all starts off with us. So in summary, thank you to Psychologies magazine. Thank you to Susie Walker. I'm your biggest fan. And just to review this, look, we're talking about optimal health. What is health? Health is renewal, regeneration. You know what that is? What's optimal? Your best. It comes from a Latin word, optimus. Your best renewal every day. I've just thought of that. And that's what I do in the coaching that we do with people. It's all about how can you renew yourself every single day in a way that gives you the results that you want. Putting the odds back in your favor, not just being driven by pain, being driven by being inspired, by possibility, being driven about getting your needs met. I'd like to do a session on this, so I think I'll do that. Being a hero, what a hero means to me, which I didn't say, being a hero is realizing that this isn't about you. This is about everyone who knows you and you sticking around for as long as you can for them, to inspire them, because the word hero comes from the Greek word heros, which means protector. Don't go down the road that everyone else. Don't be a number. Let's deviate. What's our secret weapon? To be inspired. What is winning? Winning is what? Winning is striving and struggling, which we will do all day, every day. That's how we're here today. There's no growth without struggle. Go and check this out if you want to understand more about the Magnificent Seven. This was designed with myself and one of the top nutritionists in the world, Dr. Rakowski. Go to weightlossguru.com. It's absolutely free. There's 4 courses that you can have access to. And this is how we create a better environment. So we can go up this hill of life being what we're truly capable of being. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are awesome. I love every single one of you. Please reach out to me if I can help. And we'll see you next time. And one more thing, if you've taken any value from this, share it. I dare you. Someone else might watch this and it might change their life. Who knows? It might annoy them, but who cares? It might make a difference. You make a difference. We'll see you soon. Ta-ta for now.